the final product. As you can see, we have successfully built a tracking system for, I don't know, cars or vehicles or person or anything. There are many use cases to this. So to take a look at it, look at the end product once more, we have this these two different interfaces, and these are connected via this Google Maps API. We have used Google Maps. We have used this marker to set the position for a vehicle or a person or a car or anything, or a bicycle. I don't know. And once this marker moves, for example, a person moves, so we are able to see it on our screens in live. So that's how all these I believe all these big vehicle companies track their fleet movement, or whatever they want to track based on Google Maps. And just to see it once more in action, so once we load this up, we are on a position we have mentioned in our application. So at the start we are at this latitude and longitude position, and once we move, we send this information to some API, let's say, and that API updates this on our Google Maps screen. So if there are like 1,000 people watching where this car is moving, we can create 1,000 instances of this, and they can see it from anywhere in the world that okay, this car is now at this street and this part of the world. And on this part, we have created this route called move to simulate the movement. Obviously we are entering this information manually here, but obviously this information, once the application is up and running, can come from anywhere in the world, from any mobile device in the world. And if you want me to build a mobile app to showcase this information, then I would be happy to do that as well. So let's see this in action. So once I uncomment this part and I refresh the page, we should see something moving from this this position to somewhere else. And you can see this part moves. This part of the marker moves, and it says car move. And once we uncomment this last one, we should be in a different position just to simulate. Cool. So now we are at this roundabout. So this is the final product. If you want me to build a proper interface to it and mobile app to it, I would be happy to do so. Please let me know. And in case you're stuck at something, please feel free to write me, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. And I hope this tutorial helped you in some way. So yeah, take care. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to see. Actually, I'm going to walk through how I am going to create a tracking management tracking system. This tracking can be used for person tracking or vehicle tracking or any other use case. For this, I'm going to use Laravel framework and Google Maps API. And one more thing, I'm going to use Laravel WebSockets with Pusher. Prerequisites for this video tutorial is not something that you need to know Laravel or Google Maps or something like that. Basically, I have not worked for a very long time with Google Maps, but I can read documentation and go through it. So prerequisites is you should know how to read the documentation and you have a little bit of programming experience in your life. Otherwise, this project is going to be about how we can do things in all the frameworks there are, or everything there is on the internet. Just for me, Laravel is something I have used in the past, so it would be easier for me to do it in Laravel. But yeah, obviously, as I said, this can be done in many other frameworks, in all other frameworks or anything like that. So if you're new to Laravel, just go with the flow, because I also Google everything I want to do. It's not that I know everything, and probably most of the people do the same. So let's get started with it. I'm not going to show you exactly how you can use some of the tools we are going to use and which are not directly related. For example, I'm going to use Composer to install Laravel on my machine. But yeah, there are tons of YouTube videos showing you how you can install Laravel on your machine, whether it's Mac, it's Windows, Linux, or anything else. There's this great website which we are going to follow steps from, and as you can see, there's this installation section, and there are a lot of things. Your first Laravel project gets started with Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. I'm going to choose this install via Composer. I already have Composer installed on my machine, and this is how we are going to get to it. So I'm going to copy Composer command, which it says Then in my Laravel projects folder, I'm just going to paste it. This example app, I'm going to change it to, let's say, tracker app. And now a composer is downloading Laravel, and as you can see here, and it's doing its magic. Pretty simple, straightforward. One more thing is that I'm going to use Visual Studio Code for as a code editor for my project. I'd like to use it, and you're free to use whatever you want to. The best way to follow this tutorial is to go along with it. What I'm doing, you should do as well, if that is interesting for you, obviously. As it says, applications is publishing complete and everything is done. We should be able to go into that folder now, and I should be able to open it in Visual Studio Code. Okay, so our application is installed and ready to be used. So we're going to spin up the server. So let's see how you can spin up the server, for example. So there's this command php artisan serve, and it says this is the address where your Laravel is now hosted. Let's go to that address, and fair enough, our website is now hosted here. And next thing we are going to do, we are going to have another, for example, a page where we are going to work with Laravel. So for example, if I go into the routes and this web.php, this is the main route which is showing us the welcome page at the moment. So this is the welcome page, and we're just going to copy this part, paste it down here, and let's say app. And we're not going to return a view here. We're just going to so dd means dump and die. So we are going to just dump your route is working. So if you are able to see this message on the screen, then that means we have a route configured. And let's do that. Your route is working. So so far so good. Next thing, what I would like to do is I would like to bring the Google Map on this page here and show it. But before that, I will obviously create a view. In order to create a view, I will go into the resources folder, views folder. As you can see here that there is welcome.blade, which is this one. It's being called on the main one. I am going to create a new one. I will call it, let's say, app.blade.php. And just so I will copy most of the part from the welcome file and remove the things I don't need. For example, I don't really need this div, so I will remove that. I will keep these styles, and I will keep the font. I will rename the page title from Laravel to app. And now on the web, I will return, like here, return app dot. Okay, we don't need to do the dot part here. And now we should be able to see nothing, but the title at the top should not be /app, but it should say what it should say. It should say app, like this. Cool. So this means our page is working. The next thing what we are going to do is we are going to bring the Google Maps here. In order to use Google Maps, you at least there's a free tier. They give you a $300 credit, which is a lot, and they will not charge you anything unless you specifically tell them that you want to use Google Maps for after your free tier expires. And I think free tier is like a lot, and for this tutorial it should never expire for you. So I'm going to do Google Maps JavaScript API. And okay, let's go to the overview of Google Maps JavaScript API. And this is the most simple example, like the Hello World example. The easiest way to start learning about a simple example, as they say. So what we are going to do is we're going to copy this JavaScript part from here. Copy. We're going to go to our plate. The way you can bring JavaScript in is so we can print this part, and Then we should go into the CSS tab and copy both these styles. We should paste these styles here, just like that. Just like that, and I should remove this extra comment from here. Then we should go to this HTML part, and we need to copy this id equals to map. Why we are copying this id equals to map? Because here you can see document.getElement id map. So it will try to load the map and using this id value, which is here. So if we change something for the id, for example, instead of id we say map2 or something, then we should change it here as well. But for us, map is good. Let's indent this script. Yeah, okay, that looks good. One more thing is we are going to need this script, and this is how the Google Map will appear on our page. This is the main API we're going to use. So yeah, looks good so far. Let's open up the console. This is the console. We load the page. We can see something is wrong here, and we can see the error message: API error, invalid key map error. So if you see here closely, you will see your API key. We need to put the API key we're going to use. So this is very important. And for that, we're going to go back to the Google Maps documentation, and here we're going to see using API keys part. And this creating API keys part is the important one. Go to we should basically follow step by step what they're trying to teach us. So we go to the Google Cloud Platform. I'm already signed up with Google Cloud Platform. That's why I do not have to sign up again if you're doing it for the first time. You will have to sign up with them. Next, we're going to create a project because we need a project to use to get the API keys. I will just name it delete me, or let's say tracker. And then I'm going to create the project. It will take some time to create the project, I believe. Okay, that's created. Now we can go to this Maps JavaScript API, Google Maps for your website. And let's enable that. Now, if I go to this credentials on the left panel, I can probably create credentials. If you can see it at the top, I create credentials API key, and it says using this API key by passing it in the parameter key. I will copy this part and I'll just close it. If you close it, you can find it here, for example. So next thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it here. And now I'm going to load the page again. And hopefully this time we will see the map. Cool. Now we see the map. Next thing, what we want to do is, for example, if now we see the map, we need to see a person on the map as well. So person or vehicle, I would say. So to mark a vehicle on the map, we will need a marker. So next, let's see how we can add a marker to the Google Map. So there's this tutorials, add a marker to your map. Let's go there and come down. So something like this, yeah? Red marker. Now if we see this part of the code, we are going to use it. The location of Uluru. I don't know what place is this, but yeah, obviously we're going to just copy this init map function. We already have an init map function, but we are going to replace this one with the one which has a marker to it, for example. If everything works correctly now, we should be able to see this red marker thing on our Google Maps page now. Cool. So now we see this marker, but as you can see, we're quite zoomed out of this map, and we don't know how far we are or where exactly we are. So let's say this zoom is the one doing that. Let's zoom it a bit. Let's see if 18 works for us, and we can see a bit better where we are. Okay, so we are somewhere in the national park, for example. Now, in theory, we now have a map. We have this red vehicle or red person, and this person, now we want to see if we can move this person around and able to see it move on the map as well. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a button which is going to, let's say we have a button which is going to say update position. Let's say we have this button which says, okay, update the position, and then we have a function in JavaScript which is called update position. And we are going to create that function beneath this function minute map. So update position. And we are just going to give alert position update function call, just to see if this works. So you see, we now have this update position button. If we click it, we should be able to see an alert message. And sure, we do. Position updated, function called. Cool. So now what we are going to do is let's Google how to set the position of a marker on a map. Google Maps API set marker position, and we go here. I couldn't find it here, so let's see how to change the position. Okay, so there is this function set position, and it takes it latitude or longitude values. Okay, so let's say we copy this part here. We say latitude and longitude, and let's say we make this -24 to change the position of it, and then we have this map thing outside, and as it says here, marker.set position. So let's declare this marker outside, marker, and now we can say marker.set position, and we pass it the latitude longitude. So this value, now when we click the update position, the marker should be positioned somewhere else on the screen and not on the same place where it was before. We might not be able to see the marker because it moves away from the focus point, but let's worry about one thing at a time. So update position, and after that we should see a difference. So cool. After creating update position, the marker has moved. We don't know where, but let's zoom out of the map and see where the marker has went. Probably somewhere far. So here, quite far. Now what we need to do is, when we update the position of the marker changes its position, but now we need to focus on that marker. So it's like simulating when a person has moved away from its previous position, or a vehicle has moved away from its previous position. We changed the central focus of our map to that position. So that's what we are going to do here. And to do that, I think we already have it, the center property, and we are going to use that. So I believe, if I remember correctly, it was map set center and then lat long. So where the marker has changed its new position, and this is its new position, set the marker to that new position, and then set the map to focus on that new position. So now we should see a marker move as well, map move as well, where the marker moves. So just remember that we are in this national park right now, and when we update the position, okay, this did not work, and let's see why. Okay, it says cannot read properties of undefined set center. Okay, I think we should remove this constant from this map because then it changes the scope. So probably now you should be able to see it. And I click update position, and sure, my map is also now moving to a new position where the marker moves. So in theory, we have built something where a position of a vehicle or a person is changing, and we are also moving the map, focusing on that position where the vehicle is now. So we have covered the part where the moving is done, but not in an efficient way, I would say. This is not very efficient way that we click the update position button and then we move the marker. So now what we are going to do is we are going to use Laravel WebSockets to track this information, because now at the moment it's really one way thing. So we are updating it manually. Now we want to do it automatically, and in the next part we are going to use something called Laravel WebSockets. And let's see here on the documentation page, if we go and see broadcasting, I think it's called broadcasting. Yes, so we're going to use this broadcasting thing. What broadcasting would do is, we will see what it does. It's very interesting way to update the user interface without user refreshing the page every 3 seconds or some seconds. It does that automatically. So it says all of your applications, even broadcasting configuration is stored here in the configuration file. And let's go and see that actually. So config/broadcasting. And yeah, that's right. All the broadcasting information is stored here. We are going to use Pusher here. Pusher is the thing. Pusher is the way we can update the user interface without refreshing the page every 2 seconds. So let's say the car is moved to a new position, and now we need to refresh the page to see where it has moved now. But it's the other way around. It will automatically listen for an event which will update something in the front end later on. You will know better when we go and do this. So in order to use it, we need to install Pusher, and this is the way we can do it. So I'm just going to go to the terminal, here, and then I'm going to paste this. Your requirements will not resolve Pusher problem. Okay, it says do it with this key. So we're going to do it with this key, and now it's going to install Pusher. One more thing we can do in parallel is to go to the Pusher. Yep. And then I will need to sign in, but if you're new to it, you will need to sign up for it. Okay, cool. So now we are going to create an app, and I will call this tracker app. And then I will just create app without filling much information from there. Next thing we need is we need the app keys. So app ID, app key, app secret, app cluster. We are going to use these keys inside our .env file. So let's this one .env file. We're going to fill in this information from here. So sorry, from here. So app ID is this, app key is this, app secret is this, and then cluster is EU. Cool. I think now we have really configured it. Next thing is how we are going to use this one. Yeah, we need to change broadcast driver as well in the .env file. So broadcast driver, here it says log. We now need to move it to pusher, change it to pusher actually. And I think we are done with all those things. Now we need a client-side installation of pusher channels. So for that we need npm. Also npm is a front-end package manager, so if you've never heard of it, it is used to install all the front-end libraries for your project. And you can see how you can install npm on your machine. There are tons of tutorials out there. So with this command, we are going to just we are going to just install npm, and I will run npm install once more because I've not installed all the other packages that were already there with came default with Laravel. So this part will do that for me. And once that is done, I'll show you what that means once that is done. So these different parts are separated, but once they come together, it will start making more sense why we install different things to work with it. So just be patient with me on this, and let's do this together. Okay. Meanwhile, it's doing that. What we can do is we can go into this resources.js and bootstrap.js file. So resources.js and bootstrap.js file, and you see this part is commented out. It's the same part as this one. We just need to uncomment this part and require pusher.js pusher, and that key looks good. And once you have uncommented and adjusted the configuration according to your needs, you may compile your application using npm run dev. So we're going to do just that. Let's see if the installation is completed. Okay, it is completed. Now we're going to run npm run dev. So it says compiled successfully, js/app.js, because js/app.js requires the bootstrap, so we don't need to specifically include bootstrap because it's already included with this required. Okay, now what we would like to do is, in our applet, we would like to import this file. So if I remember correctly, it was something like asset, then js/app.js. This is how we import JS files. Also, one more thing to remember is that when you change the app.js file, you will need to recompile it. So it knows what changed in the file afterwards. So there's a better way to do it. If you go to this package.json file, you'll see we run this dev command, which run that, but there is also watch command. Watch command automatically watches all your files you mentioned for it to watch, and then refreshes or recompiles every time you change something. So I'm going to run this npm run watch. And it will keep track of any changes. Let's build it for the first time. Okay. If the import was correct, we should see an alert message. Sorry, console message. So app.js included, which means it works. Okay, cool. What we need to do now is we need to go here, and I'm just seeing how we can track something. Next thing we are going to do is we are going to create an event. Event is just like something happened, what you should know about it. So it's telling the application something has happened which we should know about. So for example, the vehicle has moved to a new place, you should know about it. So that, or an order has been shipped, you should know about it. So to create an event, what we can do is we can PHP artisan. There is already a command make event. We should say this event is car moved. Let's say. Okay, so it says event created successfully. This should be created inside this app events and then car moved. Yep, it has. One thing we should do is implements should broadcast. It means that the event should be broadcasted, and it should be broadcasted to something, I don't know, return new channel. I would not do private channel, because for private channel we also need to create authentication and stuff. So just to not do that, we should return a channel, and this channel name should come from pusher, where we created the channel name, and I think it's called tracker app. So I would name this the same, tracker app. And the way it works is you should pass in the values to it for latitude and longitude, public float and $longitude, and then here it should, let's say, latitude and longitude, and this dot latitude equals to $latitude, and this dot longitude equals to $longitude. And now the broadcasting information will include this new latitude and longitude values. And to see this in action, we should move to web.php, and we should copy this route, and we should make a new route, say move, and with this move route we should broadcast the event. And let me see how we can broadcast the event. I forgot. Okay, let's see. I think it was broadcast. And it should have a channel name, which is tracker app. Actually, no. Let me see how we can broadcast event Laravel. Actually, I've done something else in the past. Let me take a look at there. So cd AP Laravel, and then cd routes and web.php. Yeah. So what I did there was new broadcast. Okay, simple. So forget that. We will just use this event function, and then we will see new car moved event, and then we'll pass the latitude and longitude. Let's take the values from the applied. So now this time we'll see, actually, and the other one was where? Okay, so and now one more thing is we need to listen. So let me go to listen, go to channel, sorry. So at the end we just need this one, and we are going to paste it for down here. So our channel name is tracker app, and we are listening to the event which is called car moved, and we're just going to console log all the information. So let's see how this goes. It says init map is not a function. Okay, I don't know what went wrong there, but let's do this part again. I'm going to paste this here, and I'm going to indent it, and the channel is called tracker app. So tracker app, and then we have this listen where I'm going to say car moved, and then console.log and event. Cool. Now let's do this again. Okay, cool. We do not see any error. So hopefully when we just now broadcast the event, we should see a console log message down there. And I'll just make it a smaller window. And hopefully at the end, this all will make sense to you why we did all these things. And I think the browser is called move. Okay, cool. So when we broadcast the event, the pusher channel received that event, and it saw, okay, which interfaces are listening to this channel specifically and to this event. And then it broadcasted that event to those user interfaces. So if more than one interfaces were listening to this channel, then those two will get these values here. So now we got these values. What we need to do is use them. So before that, we were so once we get these values, we want to update the marker position. But now we have the exact lat and even that longitude position we want to update it to. And with that, we have to update this function to receive these latitude and longitude values. I would just do new latitude. I would just name it to new latitude and new longitude just to avoid confusions. And now we should make this new latitude and new longitude. So now when we update the position, the marker will change its position based on what the actual position of, for example, a car is or something like that. So let's do this and simulate this bar again. So now once we move it, we see the move. And now if we go here and update these values to, I don't know, something far away, let's see if those are even real coordinates. I'm not sure. But yeah, you see, we are moving when we're updating this position. So so just to reiterate and see everything in the context of the app. Just to summarize all this information, what we did is we created a tracking management system. I would say a tracking management system for a vehicle or a person or anything else in the world. There are many use cases for this. We built it using the Laravel app, and also the Google Maps API and the Pusher API. So what we did is we created a Google Map interface. We brought the Google Map interface in our project. We placed a marker on it, and then we tried to move the marker around and see if the marker was updating. Once the marker was updating, what we did was we included the Pusher API, and we updated these positions without even refreshing the page manually and trying to move the marker around. So